Yellow, everybody.
That is a color.
Yellow is a color, and it is also my greeting to you all. Welcome to another episode of You Already Know What It Is. I'm your host,
podcast.
Matt, and that is my other host, Jan.
Hero.
Hero is not a word.
Hero.
Hero is racist.
It's fine.
Here we are, getting out our Christmas episode.
Slash New Year's, I guess.
No. We'll do a New Year's one too. We got like a whole week until the 31st.
Okay, we'll
Yeah,
see.
even if and this time we're actually doing it in person. We're not doing it online. Even though we are in person, we are we're being virgins about it because we're not drinking whiskey this time. We have boba.
It doesn't really count as boba. It's more of a...
Well, true. Yeah,
lemonade.
it's more of a lemonade, but with boba and what was it? Grass jelly in it.
Grass jelly. And
Pretty damn delicious. I'm not gonna. Should we do a shout out? Do they deserve a shout out?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the Ice Bar in Northridge. Not a sponsor because we don't get sponsored by anybody, but it's good. So for those of you who might be in the area, the Ice Bar, check them out.
Yeah,
Pretty good stuff.
delicious.
Yeah. So no whiskey today. Apologies, but it is what it is. So before we get started, in the main thing, I wanted to do a quick little follow up.
Of what?
On a topic that we had last episode in regards to you mentioning that you really want to try whale meat.
Where that's the topic we're on?
Well, it's just a quick little follow up on that.
No, I do want to try
because
whale. Okay.
I'm pretty sure I've told you this story before, but I feel like it's pretty good for the podcast. There were, I believe, 3 or 4 locations in LA that actually used to serve whale meat under the table. And the interesting thing is, number 1, apparently it was really damn good. Number 2, it was expensive, but that's to be expected.
Well, yeah. Anything that's contraband like that.
Of course. But the one main one that I could find a lot of articles on was a place called The Hump, which was, I think, either connected to or very close to LAX. Which makes sense because...
Is that a sushi place? The Hump?
Yeah. And apparently...
Oh, no, we're Middle Eastern.
Oh, freaking camels. That'd be there. Would not eat there. But, so it kind of makes sense that they would be at or close to an international airport because obviously, it makes it easier to transport the goods. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason why I'm bringing it up is just because I feel like the way that these restaurants got taken down or got in trouble.
So these restaurants are no longer active?
I'm pretty sure the Hump is no longer active. The one in Santa Monica is no longer active, and the other 2 or 3, I don't know. I've got to look into that.
Okay.
But they, at the very least, they all got in trouble. But like I said, the Hump and the other one, they're gone. So you have, this was kind of, apparently this happened all during like the hype, or not the hype, the climax of the Whale Wars days. Do you remember that show?
Yeah. I want to... Yeah, we're badass.
We're gonna throw stinky butter at you.
See, I know I saw that in South Park. That was the joke.
They threw stinky butter. They did that.
No weapons?
No. They were nothing. They harassed. They
harassed Japanese sailors. What did the
international waters?
What did the Japanese use to retaliate? I'm kind of curious.
I don't remember very very vividly, but I do know that they used their water cannons if they would get too close. And
that shit hurts.
Yeah, and also if there were plenty of times that these fags on the Whale Wars boat or whatever would get really really close and like try to cut off the Japanese whalers. There would be times where the Japanese captain or whatever would just turn their boat into these whale war activist people. So a bit of ramming and whatnot. I think there was a couple times, if I remember correctly, they might have had flares shot at them, and maybe once or twice an actual firearm. But
is that show still active?
I hope not. I want those people to make no money anymore.
Well, from, I guess, an American perspective, I can see why it would bother some people, but at the same time, it's like, you're going to a place where, you know, essentially this has been their way of life for how many generations?
Yeah.
And your foreigner's gonna come in, a gaijin's gonna come and be like...
Exactly. And that's the thing.
You don't eat meat!
The American way of thinking is good when it is applied in the correct situation. Yeah. American standards for Americans. We are not the police of the world. We're not here to freaking enforce everybody to do everything, you know, a certain way.
From my assumption, you know, the lifestyle that a lot of these Japanese sailors have had for, you know, how long? Were we ever close to wiping out the whales?
No.
So it's like fishing. Don't kill the females, you can kill the males.
Yeah.
That's
on that note, before going back to what I was originally trying to talk about, I don't remember what the source was, but I do know, and I could probably verify it if I took the time, that America actually catches more whales than Japan. The only difference is we don't use the meat. So, as far as I understand it, there's this little thing that countries kind of abide by, which you can catch whales and whatnot and other species of animal under a certain scientific purpose. And you
tag and release?
No tag and release. Like, you can actually catch them for science to dissect them and check their internals and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But you can only catch a certain number and whatnot. The only difference, though, is, like I said, Japan uses the meat after they catch it. So they're actually not killing and then killing for no reason. Whereas America, I think besides maybe parts of Alaska, I believe, we just toss it. We don't actually use it. We're still catching them for scientific research, but we're not actually using the meat. So, in my opinion, if all these little pansies want to get their, you know, panties up in a bunch and complain about something, complain about the U.S. doing it, because Japan's doing it fairly responsibly.
Everything is so opposite.
Yeah.
Where you want to have your gripes at is always pointed at the wrong people.
Oh, of course.
For some reason.
And Japan has time and time again shown to be a very well-oiled, self-governing machine when it comes to things like overfishing and overwhaling, because they have had those problems. They've witnessed and they've said, hey, this looks like, you know, this certain fish or whatever looks like we're not catching the same amount of numbers, and then they say, okay, well, we're all going to come together as a community and we're just going to chill out on catching that specific type of animal or whatever, and then they do it and they let the, you know, species breed and come back in, you know, the right numbers, and they go back to fishing it. They do that on their own. They don't... Japanese culture in general, and this will be a conversation for another day, Japanese culture in general, they ignore the, as you said, the gaijin voice, because they are very well aware that foreigners don't know jack squat about their culture, and even if they do know a little bit about their culture, ultimately they're not Japanese, so they don't matter. So some people might say, well, that's racist or whatever, and maybe it is.
They're just all weeaboos.
No, I'm talking about the Japanese.
I know. I'm talking about foreigners.
Yeah, but either way, basically, I think that's the way it should be. You know, listen maybe a little bit. If somebody brings up a good point, maybe give them you know, a little bit of time. Otherwise, just who cares? And you push past the societal pressure of another country, because who the hell cares? You're not in our country. But anyways, going back to the topic. So the way that these restaurants that were selling whale meat got in trouble is, well, activists. And how would activists get a restaurant that's selling whale meat in trouble?
I would assume they go there and be a customer.
Exactly, right? So you have people who are super duper, obviously PETA and Greenpeace people. They're very, oh, whales, oh, geez, don't hurt them, right? So they hear these rumors, they go to verify, they go to these restaurants, and they have to be a customer, and so they order the dish. The dish is brought out to them, and they see, aha, it's true. Now, in your mind, what would be the next step?
Do you have to eat it to confirm?
Does that make sense?
Not really.
No, it doesn't make sense. I don't know if every activist did it, but I know that at the Hump and the one in LA, the people who blew the lid on the story ate the whale meat. Okay, now, if they were experts in eating whale meat, then it would make sense that, let me verify that this is actually whale meat. But then that would kind of go against them being super gay and like anti-eating things that are tasty.
Right.
So, more than likely, these activists have never had whale before.
So they just.
So they should have just
whale.
seen the dish and been like, aha, it's been confirmed. Go to the authorities.
I would assume these activists are probably just all vegans.
Right, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
Why would you eat it? You know, if I told you, Jan, hey, there's this pizza parlor that cuts up little unborn babies and puts it on a pizza and you can eat it, but you got to keep it hush hush. And you thought, hey man, that's really messed up and demonic and all this Pizzagate stuff and blah blah blah. So you go there to investigate, and you order the pizza, the specialty, okay? They bring it out to you, and he's like, hey, this meat looks really weird. Would you be like, I'm gonna eat it to make sure maybe it is baby meat?
The logical route is to take a sample and then get it tested.
Yeah, take it to go.
Freaking retards. God damn.
Yeah, I just thought that
you can't
was...
just assume, first of all, I'm pretty sure they've never even seen whale meat.
Exactly.
Or
maybe they saw pictures of it or something, but...
Or even that whale meat can be even mistaken as bluefin toro. Like, it's very similar almost.
It's actually more along the lines of beef.
But whatever. There could be some similarities to other fishes and they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they've never
But
really
why take the
fish.
chance if you're apparently so butthurt about these things? Why would you sit there and eat this thing? And I remember, and I couldn't find the quote again.
Probably never occurred to them that they can just test it.
For real. Or just, like I said, take it to go and then have somebody, examine it.
Right.
It was $85. Oh, they also sold, at least at the Hump, they also sold horse meat. Which would have been nice to taste.
It's a sushi place. Mm-hmm. It's not an IKEA.
Nice.
Actually, that's another topic. Did IKEA really actually sell? Well, I'm assuming the one here in Burbank.
No.
Were they the ones accused of selling the actual?
I don't remember which
because I know they're the
locations.
biggest IKEA based here.
Well, now they are.
Yeah.
With that new location, but I don't know which locations were specified.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah. But apparently they also ordered the horse meat.
I hate horses, by the way.
I love them. They're awesome, but I would also eat one. I don't care. I'm very cowboy like that, Like, shit, I'm sorry, I'm eating you. Anyways, whale and horse cost $85.
Where? What side are you looking at?
Well, this was according to the report.
Oh, based out of the Hump. Before they were closed down.
Yeah.
So are they officially closed down or have they reopened under another name?
Again, I don't know. I would have to look into it.
Because if they reopen it by another name, then I want to come back and be like, hey, so about that.
Yeah, sorry about those queers earlier, but
even
I
then,
actually really want to eat that.
They probably would be like, you're trying to trick me.
No, you could just do the Japanese thing, draw your own blood or something, as a proof to them that.
Just tape my eyes further back. He cannot see.
Yeah, I forgot. I don't remember where it was, but there was a quote from one of the people who ate it, and they're like, "Oh, it's so terrible and traumatizing and stuff." Nobody told you to eat it.
God, that reminds me of that faggot who fired a gun for the first time.
Stupid queer.
I wish I had a quote.
I got PTSD from shooting a gun for the first time.
Oh my god.
Anyways, I hate
bunch
people
of pansies.
Like yeah. Speaking of pansies.
Okay, is this really where you want with the Christmas episode to go?
Well, nigga, just shut up and let me roll.
All right. So
speaking of annoying people.
Okay, who's annoying?
Well, obviously, those idiots who.
I'm assuming it's either Antifa or the Chinese.
It's a Christmas episode.
Okay.
Should it? Why? Okay. Merry Christmas versus Happy Holidays. Do you find it an issue?
No. I mean, for me
either way?
I don't care either way.
Okay, so you're somewhat very similar to I. So I was thinking about it.
Why, is there a story about someone making a big deal out of this?
No, this is just in general.
Okay.
Because obviously people have made big issues about this. We've heard about it in the past.
Yeah, but I'm assuming there's a recent one that's pretty obnoxious.
No, nothing has to be for a reason. It's just the reason is let's talk about it.
I'd like to have a reason.
Bitch, let me get to the reason.
Who I used to be.
Oh, damn, I haven't heard that song forever.
This thing sucks.
Actually, kind of. No, I like that song. But then again, it's kind of gay and emo, so.
Yeah, super gay emo. What are you talking about?
Anyways, whatever, freaking wannabe goth fag.
When have I ever been a wannabe?
Always, especially back in high school.
How?
Anyways.
I just like black.
I like black and Doc Martens, and I like to walk around with a slight hunch. Or maybe that's because you got a bad back. I don't know.
I have a natural curvature.
Anyways, so yeah, you don't really care either way if someone says Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays.
No, I
I
don't
also don't really care, but I've only sort of recently started caring after having a thought. And my thought is this: why would anybody be offended at all, in any way, shape, or form, if you wish them a Merry Christmas? Even if you, as the individual being greeted, don't celebrate. Oh yeah, I'm gonna celebrate all year. Don't celebrate Christmas. Let's say you're a Jew or you're freaking some other thing that does other things.
Right.
Why is that offensive? So
I mean, don't we wish other people like happy Kwanzaa bullshit?
Right. So why? But why? Because when you think about it, what you're wishing on somebody is not bad. Mm-hmm. You're wishing them joy. In a way, it's like if somebody says, "Hey, shalom," and you say, "Hello," you're both saying hello.
Sorry, I had this weird thought in my head. Shalom to the oven.
So obviously, it means the same thing. And in the same way, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. If I wish you, aka a Jew, Merry Christmas, your response should not be to become anal about it, but in turn say, Happy Hanukkah. Why can't that be the exchange of greetings? You know what I mean? But instead, it's become a moronic thing to complain and gripe about, and I don't quite understand how that happened. You know what I mean?
You should understand how that happens. Everyone's a freaking snowflake.
Well, yeah, everyone's a freaking...
You gotta watch what you say now.
But it's just stupid, because I'm like, wait a minute. If I was wishing you something bad, like if I was wishing, hey, random person, become saved by the word of Jesus Christ, that might be a little bit offensive, because it implies something, right? But if I'm just wishing you a Merry Christmas, because most people don't celebrate Christmas religiously anyways, it's just more so a commercialistic kind of holiday.
Just like most things.
Yeah, but the holiday itself has basically represents happiness and joy. Mm-hmm. So why get annoyed by that? It's like if you go and you say, it's New Year's Day or whatever, and you see a Chinese person, you're like, Happy New Year! What if they got pissed off because we don't celebrate New Year's on that day? But nobody, well, at least as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, it's supposed to be January, I believe.
Yeah,
or you didn't say
Gung
Hei Fa Choi or whatever they say it.
Imo Gui Fai Fi Sao.
No, they get offended by the fact that you wished him a New Year and didn't give him money.
Yeah, but as far as I'm aware, that doesn't happen. They don't get offended because of that. They just understand. Okay, you celebrated your New Year's already. We haven't yet.
No, they just made a note of that, and then down the line they'll murder you in your sleep.
Well, they'll take your organs if they're Chinese. But yeah, so you know what I mean? Like, there are so many other principally similar things that we do or say with the general public, yet those things aren't made an issue of. But when it comes to Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah or whatever, it's like, no, you have to just say Happy Holidays.
I think specifically Merry Christmas is the big one. I haven't heard much about Happy Hanukkah or Happy Kwanzaa or any of the other ones.
Obviously the Christmas thing is what caused all of it.
They're more commercially acceptable. I'm gonna harken back to this, and I sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist, but I think it's the fact that everyone's a Satanist and they hate Christianity. You don't say Christmas, you're supposed to say Happy Satan Claus.
Because it says Christ Mass.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. But all I know is that really freaking is obnoxious to me. So that's why lately, because before I was just, someone says Happy Holidays, I'm like, oh, thanks, you too. But now I'm actually been making it a point to be like, oh, Merry Christmas, because fuck you, basically.
Just take another...
take the joy, damn it. Just take it and be thankful.
Or take it another step and just don't reply.
Yeah. Which, speaking of which, slightly not what I was going to talk about originally, but I got reminded. So, You know how Thanksgiving you came over because you wanted a more American Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah.
Because you're sick of the more Pinoy kind of
It wasn't even Pinoy. It's just, I don't know why everyone just brought pasta.
Yeah, well.
It was 5 dishes of pasta. Like, serious?
5 different types of pancet.
There was just pasta.
Jollibee spaghetti.
There was Jollibee fried chicken.
Oh, hey, that's not bad. It's all right.
It's pretty bad.
Hey, if you've got the Jew friend for it, I'm more than willing to eat that. But anyways, so yeah, you came over and everything, and that was cool. And I was really looking forward to Christmas Eve dinner. And I just found out today that my mom was speaking with my aunt, and for some damn reason, my Christmases they're very bittersweet. Okay, when you're Mexican, you don't get much of a Christmas.
Yeah.
But I look forward to the food. For whatever reason, these 2 women, a part of my family, conspired against me, and apparently we're having a Mexican style freaking Christmas dinner.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I tried getting an answer, and all I could hear was anything but asking for my forgiveness. Basically, that's what they should be doing. They should be saying, sorry, we'll make up for it, we'll cancel it, and make it American like we usually do. I don't know why they're going Mexican this time. I'm not a big fan of tamales. I'm sure you know what those are.
Yeah, they cause the downfall of your people.
Kind of, sort of. The flavor-wise, I don't hate them. Like, if you get a good one that's actually made like at home or whatever, I think the flavor is good. My issue with tamales is that
it's a lazy dish, man. I feel like
it's kind of a lazy dish. It's actually kind of difficult to make, but it's difficult to make right. My issue though is that they use too much of the freaking flour dough.
Oh, I hate that.
Which is called masa or whatever.
Yeah, I hate masa.
Yeah, and it's like the flavor itself is not annoying to me. It's just that you use so much of it, and the filling inside of the tamal is like usually not enough. So you get a bunch of freaking dough and like a little bit of meat or whatever. So I would imagine if I ever came across a place that actually had a tamal, like for instance that fancy little dinner that you and I went to. Do you remember their Hispanic dish? Had like a mini churro on it and like a mini tamal.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that tamal was actually really good because when I bit into it, it was kind of like the ratio of like a ravioli. You have a little bit of dough and a bunch of filling. Yeah. That was nice, but no freaking wetback makes it like that. At least not that I've come across yet. It's always a bunch of dough. And and it makes sense too. Poor people using a filling, aka the masa, to make up for the lack of actual substantial ingredients, aka the meat or the cheese or whatever, you know. And yeah, all I know is that I hate that. I don't know if that's going to be there this year.
Did you just assume they're just only going to make tamales?
I don't know, bro. Like, how Mexican? What are you going to do? Here's the thing. They can even make my favorite food, Mexican food, aka tacos, chile rellenos, which are basically battered chilies stuffed with cheese. That's actually really yummy. You can't go wrong with that. It's basically a giant like jalapeno popper kind of. You know, a burrito. Even if they provided everything that I actually like, I still wouldn't want it on Christmas Eve. That's the thing. So even if there are no tamales, hey man, I don't care.
Feliz Navidad, man.
I voted for Trump for a reason.
To get them out of here.
I don't know. I completely forgot about that.
At least you have plans for Christmas. We haven't even discussed Christmas.
Really? Not at all yet?
I think in my case, I think it's just assumed already that I'm going to be working and my dad's going to be working. So we just chose the work route.
I guess that kind of makes sense, especially if you guys haven't even been talking about any sort of plans yet.
Yeah, I think I think at least for my
Don't you guys usually go up north?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Or they come down here, or we'll see. I mean, it's not a big deal. Maybe I'm just... I'm soulless, but I don't care.
Freaking Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah, I don't care if we celebrate it, man. In all honesty.
I'm a little bit more sentimental.
Every Christmas, I don't look forward to seeing my family. I don't care if you buy me presents. I don't want anything. I'm just Scrooge.
Yeah, you don't say, because I spent a lot of money on those boots and I never see you wear them.
I didn't ask for them.
Yeah, you did. Kind of.
No, I didn't.
In a way. In a way.
All I said.
You were like, I really want these. That's what you said. In a way, that's asking. So I made note of that.
And that's where you made that mistake, because when I say I really want these, the next day I guarantee you I don't care for them anymore. No, I wear them.
Whose was more expensive? I'm actually kind of curious. Which one was more expensive? The Red Wings or the ones from Europe?
I think they're about the same.
Really?
Same price.
Yeah, because that was like...
If I translate from pound, but it's fine, man. I don't wear either of those.
No, that's not fine. You don't say that's fine to the guy who spent almost $400.
Or be my girlfriend, like went out her way to buy that and I don't even wear it. I told that's the thing, like, cool that you guys do these things for me, and I tell all my friends, not just you, don't buy me anything. I'm not that guy.
No, I don't know. I was kidding. No, here's the thing. For people like us, like I was saying earlier, I'm a little sentimental. I do enjoy Christmas.
Yeah.
I very much enjoy the act of giving.
That's fine.
You know, it makes me happy when somebody's like, hey, I like this thing or whatever. I think part of it too is, again, growing up as a wetback, you don't get much, so there's always the hope of like, please give me something, and then it almost never happens. So there's a little bit of that, and also it's just, I don't know, I like the weather. You know, everything's nice and cold. You get to wear a jacket. It's a very pleasant time of year for me. So I do actually enjoy Christmas. Thanksgiving, I also kind of enjoy, but not nearly as much as Christmas.
I would say Thanksgiving is like the marking point that you know that Christmas is around.
Yeah, exactly. Halloween, I enjoy, but not really. I don't know. Like, for instance, this year, it didn't even feel like Halloween.
It's weird. It's not that I had a bad childhood.
You're a dick.
I just don't enjoy doing. I never dress for Halloween.
You've never ever.
Never. I've never dressed in my life for Halloween. Ever in my life.
Noted. That will change.
And I still won't. I won't.
No,
cosplay.
you will. You will. Because here's the thing. I know this about you to at least a fairly good degree.
What?
You don't care about much of anything. So you're very impartial. If something happens, cool. If it doesn't happen, I don't care. I get that because I'm like that with a lot of different things. But what I do know about you, because I've done it and I've tested it on multiple occasions, if invited to, or to some degree manipulated into a situation, you do enjoy yourself. Now, I don't know that about dressing up for Halloween because, well, you've never done it. Also, I've never really been around you during Halloween, except that what was that, Haunted Harbor thing, whatever, at the Queen Mary. But that was just it was more like an amusement park type thing than it was anything else.
And I was just walking in the...
Now, yeah.
Jack Harvey.
Jack Harvey. But yeah, so obviously there are things, I'm not saying I know for a fact you will enjoy it, but I think based off of prior experiences, you could have fun under the right circumstances while still kind of being more festive. I'm pretty sure.
I'm just not a festive guy, man.
I've noticed.
It's the funny thing is everyone's just like, oh, we'll change. I'm like, no, dude, it's not the
I'm
fact
not worried
that
about you changing. You just be you. I'm already used to it.
Yeah.
But to be able to enjoy something at least once or twice every now and then is still kind of fun. Like, for instance, you didn't want to go to Anime Expo initially. Then you went, and we had a blast that first year. Years after that, I don't really know too much, but I know for a fact that year we had a ton of fun. So, you know, that's why I know that there's a little bit of hope. It's like Ebenezer Scrooge, you know? He's a douchebag all his life, and then all of a sudden, he talks to a couple spirits. Hey, I'm enjoying Christmas.
Give him a little boy.
Give him a little boy. A little limp Timmy. Wait, was it Timmy or Jimmy?
Either or.
No.
No, but funny that you mentioned that, because, you know, I've made some recently new friends, and then it'd be kind of a shock to them when they ask me, like, oh, what do you do on your birthday? What do you want to do? I'm like, nothing. They're like, are you sure? It's like once a year. I'm like, dude, I do this every year. Nothing. Don't do anything for me. Don't buy me anything. Don't think that I'm pretending like, oh no, you don't do anything for me. That's just me saying, oh, maybe you should get me something. No, I legitimately mean, don't buy me anything.
Which is the thing that I think most people are not used to.
Yeah.
Because, excuse me, chewing on boba. I think most people are used to when someone says,
oh no,
I don't need. Yeah, they're just trying to be polite, but underneath they're like, I hope they get me something nice. So they're not used to someone being legitimate about, I don't want anything. So, you know, I think that's why a lot of people don't get it.
If anything, I'm more aggravated when they actually, like great, now I gotta get you something. That's always the reaction.
But that's the thing. Like, for me, I still want to do stuff. Like, for instance, I didn't, so far, haven't gotten you anything. Spoiler alert.
It's fine, don't give me anything.
But the only reason for that is because of the delay in working and pay and all that kind of stuff because of the broken leg, and I got started on the whole Christmas present buying way late. But the thing is, I will still more than likely get you something. Why? Ugh. Because I think that you're lying when you say you don't want anything? No. But because that's just the way I do things. Like, I want to...
I think you bring enjoyment knowing that you got me something, just seeing the turmoil in my face.
No! Nigga, when I got you those boots, there was no turmoil. There's no turmoil. You were actually... I remember that face, and that's why I was like, yeah. Because you were a little bit dumbfounded. You didn't think I bought... Well, number one, you didn't think I bought you anything. Number two, you especially weren't expecting those boots. Okay? So, just saying. Okay, it brings me a little bit of joy. No homo, but just saying. That's the way I like to do things. If you don't matter to me, you don't get jack squat. If you kind of sort of matter to me, you might get a gift card. But like people that I actually care about, I'll go out of my way to try to actually get something that you should either enjoy or find useful or whatever, depending on the situation. Mm-hmm. So that's, that's a difference. But going back to the food topic of Christmas, do you know what the standard... I don't know if it counts as traditional, but it's been that way for a long time now. What is the staple meal for Christmas dinner in Japan?
I believe it's the KFC bucket, right?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Yes, sir. No, I always find that interesting, and I thought I'd bring it up during a podcast. Number one, great move on KFC's part. They were almost at the brink of having to shut down operations in Japan when they realized, wait a minute, Japanese like marketing, Japanese like new and limited time items or whatever. What if we just, came out with like a Christmas menu or whatever? And they saved their asses in Japan. Kind of sort of like Little Caesars here in America. They were literally on the brink of bankruptcy. They were shutting down locations all over the place. And then they came out with the $5 hot and ready, which is a much better slogan than Subway's $5 footlong, which led to pedophilia. So,
was his name like Jared or something?
Jared, yeah. But
$5 footlong. The 5 is for 5-year-olds.
But anyways, so yeah, they did that, and it was really interesting. I think the marketing wise, it was brilliant because they actually understood their new environment. They understood.
Now, unfortunately, probably the KFC they get there in Japan is not the same caliber as probably we get here.
It's better over there, which is what I don't understand. American founded companies like KFC, McDonald's, what's the other one? Krispy Kreme, because there's like a couple locations over there now.
Burger King.
Yeah, they from Americans who have traveled over there and tried out their stuff, and also just from the ingredients that they actually use, much better quality.
Even the Yoshinoya that's based out of Japan.
Well, that one makes sense because that one
here.
Yeah, but that one makes sense because see, in Japan that's actually really good. Over here, it's garbage.
I believe the one in Japan it's only a one menu item thing. Japanese Yoshinoya.
I don't remember too much.
Last time they might have changed since then, but it's just literally this chicken beef. That's it.
But now, so to me, that method makes sense. Hey, this is hometown. This is our turf. So of course we're gonna have good food. Oh, a country across the ocean wants some of this stuff. Whatever. Who cares? Send a location over there, but they're not going to have the kind of quality that we have here, right? Because this is homeland. But it's opposite for us Americans. Freaking McDonald's food over there, amazing, and they have variety, and it's constantly changing. Us, it's like we might get a thing here or there, but it's very limited time.
Well, because there's no incentive to do that. Like a freaking poor, impoverished family will eat the same shit no matter what. You gotta keep that in mind.
I guess, but still, their prices have been creeping up over the past 10 years.
Let's just say the demographic here doesn't take a lot to impress us here, because
I guess maybe we're just way too complacent. We're
way too complacent. We're way too uneducated. We're way too obese.
Yeah. Because, dude,
and there's way too many minorities.
Yes. There is something to be said about being homogenous as a people. There are a lot of pros with that, but. going back to the KFC thing, I was taking a look at their menu, their Christmas menu that they had last year, and apparently now it is only reservations. It is so popular and such like the staple of Christmas over there that when it comes to the Christmas menu, you can only reserve. You can't order it on the day of. So you have to reserve it way ahead of time.
How those poor chickens.
And so they have a ton of different varieties and stuff, but one of them that I thought was really like ridiculously fancy was a bucket, and in that bucket is a whole roasted chicken, not cut up and segmented or whatever, roasted chicken that comes with like a fancy like wine chocolate sauce or something or whatever that you're supposed to glaze it with, a bunch of different sides and everything, and like 2 bottles of wine.
That's KFC we're talking about here?
Yes. And I'm like, what do we get for Christmas? Like, okay, maybe you get a Christmas shaped donut, and then you buy the donut and it's like, this is disgusting and super like dry and like, what the hell, man? Like, Christmas is our thing. And yet
it always takes a foreign country to take it to the next level, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, like I said before.
Unless it's Africa, but.
They'll take it down a notch, I guess, in that case. No, but like I said before, it's like there's no financial or marketing incentive to do that because we're so complacent with the fucking menu. Mm-hmm. We'll eat garbage because we'll accept garbage because garbage is cheaper.
And that's the thing, man. Like
and like I said, the unfortunate thing is when I was looking at the KFC menus from before, I'm like, oh shit, I want KFC. And the time I ordered KFC, and I said never again because that shit sucked.
Their mac and cheese still bomb though.
Even that shit sucked.
It does suck, but it's a tasty kind of suck. You know what I mean? Like, it's still good.
I don't know.
There's a reason why Anthony Bourdain liked that mac and cheese. Okay, and he knew good food, but that mac and cheese is yummy. It's creamy.
And he knew children as well, apparently.
No, false. Actually, opposite.
What, he knew about people diddling children?
I don't know about that, but possibly. Basically, all I know is that, slightly sidetracked, but Anthony Bourdain was very much against Trump for a while. And then all of a sudden, very soon before his death, he actually swapped. And I think it was like a little conference or something, like a Q&A session, if not, and where this guy asks him like, oh, so apparently you've had a change of heart and blah blah blah. And so Anthony Bourdain started talking about how, one of the main things that kind of caused him to open his eyes to the reality of stuff is when, because he would do, what was that? No reservations or something like that?
Yeah,
and he would just go all around the world. Mm-hmm. And, he would go to Iraq and, India and all these different places that are kind of dangerous.
And, of course, they probably have an opinion on the president.
Kind of, sort of. But basically, where his mind actually got shifted was he was like, well, wait a minute. We go to all these other dangerous places. What if we went to Charlottesville? Where all these supposed racists, live and hang out. So he went there, and he said he found none of what was claimed to be there. He didn't find any racism. He found a ton of equality and open-mindedness and just warm, hospitality. And so after that, when they shot that thing there, which I don't think ever actually came out, funny enough, he started to actually see, wait a minute, hold on, Trump's actually not being a racist, like, because he works for the companies, the big companies. Yeah. So you're inevitably going to be slightly influenced by all that kind of stuff. But then he started to see, wait a minute, the bias is actually flipped. So, and then shortly after he had that realization, I think it was only like a month or maybe 2 after that, when he came out publicly about that he quote unquote committed suicide.
So you think someone suicided him?
Basically, anytime someone who is important or as at least in the public spotlight, commit suicide, it's always sketch. And in my opinion, almost always not true.
Didn't they claim Bourdain was like super depressed or something?
Yeah, they did. They claimed that he was super depressed and all that kind of stuff. But again, if you look at everything that all of the in-person things that he did prior to his
he didn't
death,
seem like he was.
No. And he was very much, if not, because he had, I think, his daughter that he, kind of changed his whole life. And, really changed his whole life. And then all of a sudden, never mind. I forgot all the good times and everything. I'm just going to end myself. Doesn't seem right. And also, people who usually people who actually feel like, hey, I love these people around me, but I really can't make it, don't kill themselves in an area where their loved ones have to. Yeah, exactly. Like in Japan, they feel like they're a burden, but they don't also want to just end themselves. Like if they live in the same household as their family, they don't do it in the house usually. Sometimes yes, but not usually.
The forest.
Yeah, they go out in the forest. So again, just weird things like that. Again,
dead body suicide force.
Not a dead body, bro. Yeah. So again, I doubt that it was a suicide, although I can't say for sure. But anyways, slight random thing, but
now if we're talking, just another random
go for it.
thing. Now there's this weird conspiracy theory that's been going around. Well, not hasn't been going around. It's been out for a while.
Conspiracy theory.
That if we're talking about suicide, what's his face, Chester Bennington or something like that from Linkin Park killed himself.
Oh yeah.
And apparently, it's ridiculous, but they were trying to make a comparison that Chester Bennington looks almost like John Podesta, the guy in the whole spirit cooking thing.
I know John Podesta.
The whole spirit cooking thing and the little Pizzagate thing.
Yeah.
And it's a crazy conspiracy theory, but it's interesting because you don't want to read too much into it, but it's just an interesting idea that people have.
I don't know. It's like people saying the flat Earth, conspiracy theory is interesting.
I'm saying there's no truth to it, but it's
I'm not saying that you are, but how is it interesting? Because to me, when I hear something super outlandish, I'm not interested.
The outlandish thing is Chester Bennington is like a half brother to John Podesta, who himself was a victim.
And that's true?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. This is a theory. Nothing's been proven. So
yeah.
It's quote. None of this is proven. I'm just talking from like interesting stuff I've read online. That the fact that Chester Bennington is potentially one of these victims of like child sex trafficking, and same thing with John Podesta. Even though John Podesta rose from the ranks of being a victim to being a politician, now he's taking part in the act itself. And the reason why Chester is, suicided was the fact that he had a connection to John Podesta being his half brother in the same sense, or if not a full brother. And they have and they're trying to say they look similar in all that sense. Then again, none of it's true. It's just interesting stuff to read.
Yeah. So kind of like the same type of interesting that you would have watching a terrible 80s movie for the sake of the fact that it's terrible.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I mean, Samurai Cop's pretty dope.
Samurai Cop was pretty sweet.
Now I'm gonna tell these son of a bitches.
Katana. It means Japanese sword.
What does katana mean? It means Japanese sword. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
But anyways, yeah. So okay, interesting. Yeah, no, there's a bunch of other conspiracy stuff that I kind of
no, but aside from all that, they do look similar. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I would have to see them side by side. Excuse me. But yeah, no, I don't actually recall even what Chester looks like.
He got the glasses. I mean, the music was Linkin Park.
I liked Linkin Park. I never cared who played it though. There are very few bands, even now, where I'll hear the music and I'll be like, you know what? I want to know what these guys look like. That almost never happens.
Except Boris.
Well, Boris and maybe like Baby Metal when I heard Baby Metal before I saw them. I'm like, I want to see what they look like.
Well, obviously, you sound like prepubescent in Japanese.
Yeah, no, not prepubescent, sir.
They all do.
They're all of age now. That's all good.
You waited.
I didn't wait to do anything.
Let's get out of this hole now.
Yes.
All right. What are we talking about?
I think we were talking about like KFC and stuff.
Yes, KFC.
First.
Yeah.
No. I guess on that note, what's your favorite holiday food so far that you've experienced?
Oh my god.
If you can.
I don't even. What's considered hot? Like we have it every.
Yeah. Obviously not the Filipino stuff because Filipino stuff is just Filipino stuff. But
no.
Cranberry sauce, turkey, honey baked ham, stuff like that.
Holiday food, huh?
Yeah. Like, have you ever had stuffed French toast?
I guess I like. I guess grilled tuna is pretty dope.
That's holiday?
I don't know. We always seem to have it around the holidays.
Okay. Well,
I mean, a grilled bluefin tuna is pretty cool.
Well, yeah, no, it is bomb. I'm not gonna lie. I guess I don't associate that with holiday specific.
For me, I guess it's associated holiday for me because the only time we ever order food like that is when there's a bunch of people, and obviously you need a bunch of people to eat a bluefin tuna.
Yeah.
Not a whole bluefin.
Or
tuna.
just a Manny Pacquiao fight.
I guess. Yeah, okay. I don't really think about that much.
Interesting. You're less American than I thought. All right, good to know.
And I'm about to do the most American thing.
Yeah. You want to talk about that?
No.
No? Okay.
Nothing's set in stone yet nothing's set in stone.
Yeah.
I'll say that. I don't want to jinx myself.
John may be raping and pillaging Native Americans soon.
Native Americans?
You said the most American thing ever.
Oh. That's been done already. I mean...
Hey, there are reservations.
The recent pillaging is the fact that they got rid of that football team, Washington Redskins?
Oh, wait, they did finally?
Do you not know that?
No, I don't care about these things, but then I care about them when they're brought up.
Yeah, they're not the Washington Redskins.
Because I know that years ago they tried doing it.
South Park made a joke about that. I remember that. No,
so it's actually gone.
It happened. It happened in the beginning of the
season. Now,
series.
completely, like...
They are called the Washington football team. No logo.
Oh, that's freaking gay.
Yeah, you can look it up. It's real. It's
the Washington football team?
That's their name because they couldn't figure out a name in time. And the funny thing is, whenever the commentators, there'll be moments where and the Washington, the Washington team scored. There'll be moments that they'll forget they're not called the Redskins anymore because apparently it's racist.
That's pretty retarded.
I mean, if that's the route we're taking, then why don't we get rid of the Florida Seminoles because they're also a Washington team, the Chicago Blackhawks.
Your team has the Dolphins. I don't know. Dolphins have rights too.
PETA's gonna go after them.
Pretty sure the Dolphins aren't okay with you using them as a mascot.
I can't think of another one. Let's see. The Dallas Cowboys.
The Louisiana Lynchers.
Oh boy. I don't know, man. If that, I'm trying to remember other teams, but they got rid of the Washington Redskins because it was too racist. It never really occurred to me.
I don't really care that much about football, but that's sad to me.
Well, it never really occurred to me that Redskins was such a derogatory term.
But it's not really. Have you ever seen us dunk a Native American in the sun?
No, not really.
It's pretty red.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess. But do they really get offended by that?
As far as I'm aware, because again, this now all of this, what I'm about to say is all.
I mean, there's the term rednecks too. Come on.
Right, but the first time around when they were trying to get rid of the name and they failed, from what I remember, pretty much almost every Native American didn't give a crap. It was, again, other people white knighting for a culture who doesn't want that to happen.
Oh, boy.
Again, which is the most frustrating thing to me ever. If you are a black person and I say, what's up, nigga, or nigger, or negro, or negro, or anything else.
Or nigress.
Or nigress. Chimp, ape, gorilla, whatever. Pick and choose.
Oh, if we're talking context there, then I think I can understand why they get pissed.
Right, yeah. It'd be like, okay, I can understand. You, a person of color, don't want to be called that. I get it. That's fine. But if I'm talking to a black person that I'm cool with, and I know that they're all right with those words, and I say, hey, what's up, my nigga? Hey. And then all of a sudden some random white cunt from, a community college pops her head out of nowhere and goes, excuse me, you can't say that, that's racist, oh my gosh, whatever. I would actually in reality probably break her knees, but I also wouldn't give a crap.
Assault.
Yeah, because hey, as long as the person who it's directed towards doesn't care, then that's all that matters. Why does your super anal stupid mind have any say in my interaction with somebody who's okay with that stuff? Mm-hmm. And that same, principle applies to Hispanics, to white people, to Asians, to whomever. Why does that? If they're not bothered, even body shaming and all that kind of crap. If the fat person that I'm saying is fat thinks it's funny or doesn't care, then it is what it is. Also, though, that is different because it's a health issue. But that's a different topic. But it's just, I don't appreciate when somebody who is not even the target audience gets offended on that audience's behalf. Because that's stupid. Especially when the audience stands up and says, hey, we don't give a crap. And they're still like, well, you should give a crap. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry.
It's the college education system.
Which is weird. And I'm wondering how much
Do you
of it
remember...
is China's fault. Because apparently China has had their claws even in our educational system for a long time.
I mean, they had that list that was leaked recently.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was going to say, if you recall, if we're talking about college, I do remember, like, moments where I feel like where college should have been open to free thinking. But what was exercised was the opposite. Was, if I recall, that sociology class I had, and I had a paper. Like, it didn't occur to me at the time, but... Now going through the actual motion of going through college and seeing how...
Was that the sociology class that we took together?
Yeah, that one.
With that black lady?
Yeah, that one. And that wasn't the first time this happened, but like they would push their opinions on my paper, and then they would grade me on that, and in a way to almost skew my thoughts, because I believe I said something controversial at the time that I think it was the time that Osama, was Epstein.
Yes.
And everyone was praising Obama and all that stuff, but I was the one to go. I was kind of the bold one to see out there on that paper that had was Obama. Though he did greenlight, it didn't really do anything. That was
the same thing
military intelligence.
I don't remember how it was graded though.
And since she was African American, she said, "Oh, like." I mean, I don't even think it was a race thing. I think she was just, I guess, really pro like Obama. And the fact that I just didn't give him any credit for doing that, she felt offended and had to tell me, like, on her comments that I was wrong and failing. And I was like, first of all...
I know that I passed that course.
I did too.
But I don't remember any actual negative interactions with the professor that I can recall. But then again, most of that time in school was kind of hazy. Because I hated everything about it. But
I hated it too.
Yeah, no. The reality is that kind of stuff does happen.
Yeah.
So I believe you. There's reports of, I think this one kid during this whole pandemic thing, doing their Zoom classes and stuff, a little kid, and the teacher was like, hey, tell me about who you looked up to or who's a hero and why or whatever. And everybody's giving their crap, the usual answers that you would expect. And this one little Hispanic boy says Trump. Did you hear about that story?
I assumed it was Trump, but no, I didn't hear about the story.
Yeah, freaking. And then the teacher talked to him, told him why he was wrong, and then kicked him out of the class. And then the mom found out about it, and I think she recorded her conversation on the phone with the teacher, and she, for a little spig, I'm proud. She gave him a talking to, and went all up and down about freedom of speech. How dare you basically enforce your own personal beliefs and biases on my child? My child likes him for blah 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 blah, and listing all the things that he's done and all the good that he's done and whatnot, and ever so slightly, as the conversation continues, the teacher continues to backpedal, because he knows that he's kind of screwed up. But that's the whole thing. That's the issue with our school system right now.
It's too opinionated.
It is too opinionated. Just like the media.
It's not.
Give me the information. Don't give me your opinion. Don't give me why you think the world is unjust. No. Hey, if we're talking about psychology, let's go over psychology. If you want to go over something that you have personally gone through.
Van Jones, Don Lemon, don't cry. Just stop crying, please. I had to stop talking to my friends.
I can hug my children again.
When I had to stop hanging out with my friends when I found out they voted for Trump. I'm like, dude, you are the biggest fucking snowflake.
Yeah, you those people are the reason for division.
Yeah,
it's not,
dude. I have friends who openly vote for Biden. It's like, cool, your opinion.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck.
As long as you're not gonna be an annoying cunt about it,
yeah.
And you're gonna try to start a fight or start an argument every time we're around each other, then we can continue. I don't care, because ultimately at the end of the day, too,
the derangement syndrome.
It's the derangement syndrome. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, because again, like what I was gonna say is, when you're where we are, as far as our insight of the world and of life, you kind of start to realize it doesn't really matter, it only starts to matter when you take your belief or your position on something and then become irradical about it, you know. And that's when it becomes a problem, because now you're hurting somebody, now you're destroying someone's property, now you're exposing someone's children to something that they shouldn't be seeing or be around or whatever. But if you just simply have like, oh, I voted for this guy, and I say, well, I voted for the other guy, I don't care that you did that, because ultimately the world is so messed up, both politically and even on a personal level. Like, there's so many evil people that just do evil things because it makes them feel good, you know. A lot of the gory stuff that happens out there is not some industry that gets together to do it, although that may exist as well. But a lot of it is just one person who, you know, thinking gets his rocks off to disemboweling or beating a person or cooking a dog in a vat of oil, you know, or whatever, you know, like,
or stealing a child from his mother's arms in broad daylight.
Yeah. So, you know, to me, those things help me to kind of have a level head about things, and that's why
that this isn't the worst. This isn't rock bottom, but for some people, it's rock bottom.
Oh yeah.
Like the fact that, you know, the names won't be mentioned, but I do have that very liberal coworker of mine. During lunch, released a big sign that said, the nightmare's over, and you know, of course that's a little bit of like a bait and hook for me to ask what's wrong.
Of course.
I'm like, okay, what's wrong? It's like, wow, Trump finally got voted out of office, to which I'm like, is that really the worst thing that can happen in your life right now? And I told him that to his face. It's like, yeah, everything is like, let me ask you this, has there been any drastic change in your life since he's been elected? And obviously he's backpedaling, like, and he doesn't have a definitive answer for me. And you know,
most of them don't.
Yeah, and I'm being kind of a dick myself, you know, making a bit of a comparison. Like, you do realize I come from a country where you can't say shit like that, or in my girlfriend's case, you know, China, you can't say shit like that, or else you fucking disappear. So just be happy with what you have here, man. Come on.
Seriously, and educate yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of people
reading off of Twitter.
Twitter
tops, headlines and all that
headlines, stuff. You know, the first couple pages of Google or whatever, and they think I'm educated, as if obtaining factual truths is that easy. It is easier now than ever before, because information is so easily obtainable. But it's also
easier now to get the false information.
Exactly.
You are fake news.
Uno, dos, tres. Yeah, so I guess we'll wrap it up. Kind of ended on a slightly more political note again, but
you brought us there
a little bit. You too. Yeah, that's really about it. I just wanted to give a little send off for the cremas.
Yeah. And
we'll probably get one out before the new year. Jan, anything you'd like to say to close out?
I mean, have a Merry Christmas, everyone. And, you know, we're coming to the end of our year. It's kind of a crappy year for most people, but hopefully we can look forward to a new, refreshing beginning in 2021.
Yes, sir. I agree. Also, no more broken legs for me. That's it for us tonight. Have a fabulous day whenever you're listening to this. This is the Dead Lemons Podcast, signing out.